Marwan Makan for the President. Dr. Tul, thanks very much for coming. I think I last saw you, I was interviewing you outside the UN when you were protesting.
Yes.
Just a point of clarification, because you seem to have toned down the rhetoric and you want to meet the other side. I can understand your concern to protect His Majesty's image, that you should not tolerate defamation against him. But as journalists covering Thailand, I've been in situations where there are seminars. For instance, there was a seminar I attended where they were discussing the policy of eradication drugs in the north of Thailand. And the officials from the police anti-narcotics bureau made a presentation. And then there was somebody from an NGO who was expressing concern about problems with the people there. And then when it came, and there was this discussion going on, and a police officer raised his hand and says, oh, the King's projects have worked. The moment he said that, the discussion stopped. And I don't think there was any attempt to undermine His Majesty or undermine the palace policies. We at the FCCT once had a panel discussion involving activists who were concerned about the Pakmun Dam. And they were angry against Mr. Thaksin's policies on when they were going to open sluice gates and permit water. And there was a person at the club who asked a question of the activists, why are you objecting only against this dam? He referred to another dam and said, well, there are problems with that dam. And the activists suddenly whispered among each other and said, well, that's a royal project. This basically means they did not want to talk about it. So I think it's important to draw a distinction between your concerns about defamation. Quite right. But it also, I mean, what has happened with 112 is it has suppressed legitimate discussion in Thai society about concerns that affect the people. And that seems to be where we as journalists, as foreign journalists, are having difficulty trying to understand why you are opposed to this. So if you could respond to that, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, I see your point. And we have to discriminate the groups who's in the central, and mostly they are under, I think they are under Thaksin support. That's different from the rural area, that most of them get better life from King's project. Like in the north, you may heard about King's mother, Paris, where Falun. It's close to the Burma troops and or Chinese troops, and the area about 10 kilometers over there is plenty of drugs like morphine, gansha, and so the King's project tried to change their career to grow crops instead of drugs. But in Bangkok, in Bangkok, and the recent one, the academics group in Thammasat University, they start to ask for change 112, not for the freedom of expression, like he said. We analyze that it's just one part of the team of groups to destroy the monarchy out of Thailand. That's why I correct my group to oppose the Lese-majeste group. We would like to stay the same, because if there's some change like Lese-majeste proposed, it will make chaos to Thailand. That's what I'm expecting. Why I did. It's different from the rural area, like you said. The area between in rural area, even lecture someone that said that they love the king. Even we support Thaksin. Dang rak chao, something like that.
Sawadee-ka. Robert Clear, Alternative Innovations. Just as a sort of point of political correctness, you mentioned England. Actually, it's United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Thank you very much. And well, the passport says United Kingdom. You know. But anyway, as I understand it, Thailand created the current monarchy system style in about 1932, I believe, generally based on the UK system, not the English system, but the British system, the UK system. If that is correct, and the general trend in Thai politics is to move towards full democracy, and they wish to copy aspects of the British system. If you recall, at the time of Lady Diana's death, there was a great outcry against the British monarchy, complaining about her lack of response to the death of Lady Diana. And there was a great deal of press, freedom of press, within this democratic system to which Thailand is aspiring. And the pressure was such that she was the Queen of United Kingdom, Great Britain and Northern Ireland, was condemned for being insensitive towards the feelings of the people. And ultimately, she responded and came out and visited people and looked at the cards and the flowers and all that stuff. And the public responded most positively to that, the fact that, aware of the difficulty that the Queen of United Kingdom, Britain and Northern Ireland had with Lady Diana, she nonetheless took upon herself, with great dignity and humility, entered into the public domain once more and responded to the feelings of the people. And as a result of this, after a great deal of negative press, the press responded and the people responded equally with great acclaim. And she was elevated, the Queen, that is, of the United Kingdom, Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
And the question is?
Well, Marwan went on for quite a while and he had no interruption. I think it's fairly clear as to what the outcome of this is. If the aspiration is towards following the model of United Kingdom, Great Britain and Northern Ireland and democracy and the freedom of press, how would you respond to following that system in regard to possibly changing 112? Thank you.
Okay. You know, even I'm Thai, but I'm still in deep regret in that tragedy to Lady Diana, right? I think everybody agree with that. And she's one of the member of royal family. And what she did, and everybody loved her, and make famous to royal family too. That's the same that happened in Thailand. King Bhumibol and previous king and royal family did good to Thai society, to Thai nation, to Thai people. So people love royal family. In 1932, Kanara group of people, they get fund from the royal family to go abroad to study in politics, in military actions, and go back. But they try to change. The head, Mr. Greedy, would like to eliminate the monarchy. But the last of Kanara only disagree with Greedy. So that's why the style or picture of Thai democracy different from from other country in the world. That I think that every country has their own unique style. And I try to explain why the Thai democracy we like that since 1932. During first 30 years of democracy in Thailand, before the General Solid era, there's some fight between monarchy and Kanarat government. Jampon Prak, People Songkram, maybe the last member of Kanarat, who's be the prime minister. After that is Surit and Thanom, who's not the members of Kanarat, who's changed from absolute monarchy to the constitutional monarchy. So right now is constitutional monarchy. That's a difference from other constitutional monarchy. But the concept is that the king is under the law. The power of the king is according to the law, and he acts according to the suggestion of the parliament. Anyway, he support or do something that the government did not or could not do. Like he's even went to the rural area, dirty, difficult to go, difficult to travel, hard to travel. There's a dirt, sunny and wet. But politicians and even prime minister never go. Even the flood happened last year. You may see the record of the 17 years ago. There's a meeting held by the King Bhumibol as expert and government officer and expert and politician to sit in front of him and discuss the charter and give suggestion. That's a plan. After that, only Bangkok municipal follow that meeting suggestion, and gradually over 20 years there's some change to divert water. If there's no meeting like that 20 years ago, there's maybe a bigger flood in Bangkok. But in the rural area, no change. So the big flood happened. If there's no tourist storm like forecast, this year there will be about 30 to 40 storms the whole year. So the flood may happen again. So the importance of king is still of Thailand to support. He's not ruling the country. His reign and his support is serve his people, especially poor people in rural area under his project. That even the government neglect. They don't do anything. They serve only the area that vote for them. That's all. So the importance of the king, Thai king, may be different. And even myself, I'm Bangkokian. I never get the direct benefits from King's project. But I love him, but not because of the propaganda on the television like Nature said. They said I'm one of the loyalists or ultra loyalists. In fact, I'm not. I'm an ordinary Thai people that learn that there's a rich and poor. We should support the poor, but right now there's only King's project can do that. I cannot help them by myself. So there's difference between king is still from country to country. Even like I said, 26 kings in the world. There's a ruling king like Saudi Arabia, Brunei. There's a head of state and rule the country too, act as a prime minister or president, but not Thai. And the Thai king different from the Great Britain. Queen and because Thai culture difference, we respect to parents to the king. There is difference. I like all of you to understand and realize about the Thai tradition and custom. That's why if you look at to the history, Thai history, shortly it's about the Ratanakosin. Ratanakosin, we passed a difficult time, but like King Rama V, who is one of the great two, and King Rama VI, Rama VII, they passed the difficulty time in Thai history, and right now it's 66 years. So what happened right now is about the Article 112. It's not the Article 112 itself. It's not the defend the king, but it's just a part of the team of groups under politician to change the administration system, or someone that try to be a president. Even they denied, no, they refused, no, I don't want to be a president. But we have we can forecast or analyze what happened. It's not what Nitila said. It's happened after the red shirt did about defame the king, and then they try to have a academic background. And Warajit and his team in Thammasat was set up to use as a academic propaganda. If it's truly academic, and I mean the academic too, if you are research, you have to review the pro and con. But if you look at their proposal, they use only the review or the quote that back up here. They don't talk about the opponent like who pro the royal or to stay the same. 3 to 15 is alright. And can we change? Can we solve the problem without any change? Because if there's some change, like Nitila said, there's going to be more defamation than what I expect. I'm not sure I'm answer your question or not, but I try to. But thank you for keeping long, because I'm Thai that confused about the name of England British. Please forgive me.
No problem. Peter Jansen from DPA. I'll keep my question very short. Yeah, you are opposed to 112's amendment. As far as I understand, Thai is opposed to 112's amendment. People close to Thaksin say he likes 112. I don't think you like Thaksin. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I get that impression that you're not a supporter of Thaksin. Yeah, and yet in the future, one can see things obviously changing in Thailand, yeah? And Kun Thaksin could be back in power, and he likes 112. He could be using it against people like you in the very near future, huh? Isn't this a concern for you? Not now, but I mean, I'm talking about when things change in the near future. Huh?
Okay, I won't worry about that. Why? Because to use any criminal law to accuse people, the one should do something that fit to the law, right? I think I won't do something that close to that law. So even the Thaksin come back to Thailand, he cannot use 112 with me. Another point is right now Pheu Thai party said, oh, I won't support Nitila. I'm not with Nitila. That church said not Nitila. But the evidence in the past show that you support that. Even Yingluck Shinawatra, the Prime Minister, support that too. But when there's a big opponent like me, and not only me, everybody, nearly most of the country oppose the Nitirat group, so they jump out, say no, I won't support Nitirat. So I'm not sure it's what you say, the Sabkha law, like a soccer. Chulalongkorn said Sabkha law. I'm not sure what in English. They play tricks. I think that Thaksin tried to go back, not because of 112. They tried to amend the constitutional and using a friendly decree to apologize for everybody, and then they come back without penalty, and then go to get into the power again by change constitution. Because if someone sentenced to grab the money like Thaksin, he should not be the politician for whole life, for lifelong, forever. So I think they try to change that, to go back to his position, to his power like a prime minister. But he cannot use the 112 to me, I'm sure.
It's Alessandro Sicciana, freelance journalist. You said that you fear that the changes proposed by the Nitirat group would bring chaos to Thailand, right? But the effect of the 112 up to now in Thailand is effectively, it has stifled any debate among Thais. Don't you fear that this stifling of any debate could have the danger of bringing chaos one day to Thailand in the future?
Thank you. It depends on what kind of debate. If it's debates among the filial leisure group that I enjoy, I think that's not a good situation to discuss about.
The free, what kind of group? I'm sorry to catch that.
The furious, anger, and when I'm talk, they yell, they won't listen to what I said. So I propose my suggestion number one is the meeting, peaceful meeting, academic meeting between pro and con groups before the conclusion and bring it to the society as a conclusion. Because the situation I met is not a good one. There's a throw bottles. It's not a peaceful life. It's what happened if it's occur in the society. I learned that there's some fight and there's some kill. They talk about Pheu Thai or Ying Lak or something else. They fight each other and someone get killed. Oh, I don't want that to happen. I'm not sure I answered the question or not, but I agree with the discussion between pro and con. But it should not be like what happened in Thammasat, because it's among the various groups.
So you would not be happy, for example, in having a civil discussion, as you say, on TV, on national TV in Thailand? Would it not be helpful?
I have to be careful about this, because if it's on broadcast, and some academics say something is maybe the sensitive issue, but someone may pick up incorrectly. Like Nitirat said, there is a law firm in the Royal Palace office. Why won't they change Article 1.2 to use this law firm to accuse, to in charge of accusation of this case 1.2? And I said the fact is, someone may agree with that if they not deeply analyze, turn. If that law firm that close to the king in charge of accuse the case, later the convicted or the accused guy will blame the king that the king ordered that. So this one is very sensitive issue. It should not be on live. It should not be on live. That's my opinion. It should be in close, but they should be pro and con in same meeting. But what happened? There's only one side talk with the red shirt, but I joined that talk too. So I learned what they think, and I get angry. So I'm not agree with the broadcast, but I agree with the meeting. It's the full of academic status.
Perhaps, Dr. Tul, the FCCT could be a neutral place. It's very difficult to convince both sides to come to the table, though. Next question, please.
First, I think that you invite volunteers here too. I would like to talk with him also.
We had an invitation to Warajat. We had to the Dirat group themselves. They had to withdraw, citing security concerns for themselves. So, you're not the only one who might get bottles and so forth thrown at you.
It should be me who's afraid of that.
Next question, please.
Dr. Tul, good evening. I'm sorry that you weren't able to give a clear response to Mr. Kinnear, because I would have been interested in such a response. However, I would request that you give a very brief and succinct answer to my question. Given that His Majesty the King is himself on record clearly stated that the monarch is not beyond criticism, can you please explain to those of us who are not Thai citizens, who are here in the country with a Western mindset and a Western education, as to why your group is so set against the concept of reform, whilst I accept that you may not wish to abolish 112, it's very strange for those of us from outside the country to understand why qualified reform is also unacceptable. Thank you.
Interesting question, a difficult one. In fact, I'm the one who's I listened to the complaint or the proposal of Nitirat, but I'm not agree with or get along with the final proposal or change amendment. If you look at the 7, I agree that the law should be changed from time to time according to the situation, because there may be a new act, something like not to stand in front of the king picture in the theater, something like that. But why I opposed to Nitirat or ask for no change? Not because of what Nitirat proposed, but I forecast, maybe I'm fear that the effect of the change, what behind the scene, what happened next. If the article want to change in or Lese-majeste change in other country, may not harmful to the country. But in my opinion, in my analysis, and I think another groups too, the effect of changing, or even that they go around the country and they present their proposal, plenty of misconception put to the people. That's what I'm afraid. It's not the change itself. It's what Nitirat members present to the society, to Thai people. It's misconception, and they put something wrong statement or incorrect statement. Like they said about the king's money. That's for the king position, not the king as a person. So that's why there's the story more than proposal, 7 proposal by Nitirat. So you have to it's difficult for me to explain all of the story, but I try to give in brief that they try to make wrong statement to the Thai society.
I think one question that several people have asked, maybe the essence of it is that after Princess Diana's death, the Queen was criticized by, Queen Elizabeth was criticized openly and also in the media by her people, by the press. She responded to that criticism, and ultimately her stature grew stronger. She just celebrated her Diamond Jubilee. I think one thing that people want to understand, or would like your opinion of, is whether or not, when there is room for criticism, not defamation, not threats, not anything harmful or slanderous, that it can only strengthen somebody who is symbolically the head of a country in the eyes of his or her subjects.
Maybe we have a different style. Even there's some rain, but the king and the royal family has not get up and explain. I cannot ask them to do so, but there's sometimes that Princess Chulalongkorn did that, try to do so, if you remember. And most of the time he stay quiet. He won't like to fight with that claim, on the internet, on the community radio. But the one who suffered is the Thai who love the king, who listen to that. So if it's a national issue like Diana, what happened to Lady Diana, and so I think the Queen Elizabeth did properly. But in Thai, it's not. It's like a rumor, but it's spreading in the rural area. If it's the big issue like a Lady Diana, I think our king will do something to explain, like Queen Elizabeth did.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Good evening, sir. I was wondering...
Could I have your name, please, sir?
Oh, sorry. George Heldenstein. No affiliation. Are you aware that you, during your course, you defamed the former region of the kingdom? That's my first question. My second question, are former kings, queens, prince heirs, regions protected or not? And so what do you expect to happen when the king passes away, which one day or another will happen, I hope, as late as possible? My third question is, there are a number of grandees of the kingdom who got accused and police reported, for some of them at least, I'm not aware of the details, under Article 112. I name them: Taksin, Sondi, General Kram, another member of the Privy Council, I don't remember his name, former Prime Minister Anand, They are all on that list. So how come nothing happened in these cases? Is there discrimination? Because it is certainly not sufficient to go to the police station and say, this guy defames the monarchy. There must be also someone who acts under this law. I cannot imagine, I am a little bit ignorant, I must admit, but some prosecutor must take action. So how come this law applies just to those who are not grandees?
I will start with the third question first. That's about Thaksin. There's a case with accused Thaksin, but the Attorney General declined, stopped the case. So there's some. But about Sonthi, you mean Sonthi Limthongkun, right? He's talked about the Dar torpedo. His repeat Dar torpedo. It was accused, but it depends on the intention. It's on the intention. The Sonthi repeat what the Dar torpedo said to ask the police to catch her, but finally she was caught after some military act. Okay, but the last three, General Prem, Anand, and Air Force General Sithi. Be careful, it's on the WikiLeaks. But he said it's said or it's indirect or quoted by former US ambassador. So it's difficult to accuse. So Prem, Anand, and Sithi may not say that. And I'm in doubt. If I'm one of them, I won't say anything to foreigner. And it's shown on the WikiLeaks, right? That case. And please give me repeat the first question.
I didn't quite catch it. Are you aware?
I'm not saying that any of these people committed lese-majeste. Let's make that very clear. I don't know that, okay? But the case hasn't progressed in any way.
Can we get that first question again? Are you aware that you defamed?
The first question was, are you aware that during the course of your conference you defamed the former regent of the kingdom by accusing him of attempting to overthrow the monarchy? And you know, defamation, that's a particularity everywhere of that offense. The proof rests on those who pretend something about someone. Okay? If I pretend that John has a long nose, I have to prove that he's long. John has a long nose. He has not to prove that he has a short one. And then, that of course is, as I repeat the law, but I want your confirmation. As soon as a monarch is a passed away monarch, or passed away queen, or passed away prince high, or passed away regent, he's no longer under the protection of the law. And then my question becomes, what is going to happen then? I mean, this is really opening up the gates at one specific point in time, as late as possible, but it's opening the gates that everyone who wanted to say something is all suddenly motivated of saying this because there's no longer protection of the law. So it's a very risky strategy. It's a very risky strategy, that Article 112.
It's a difficult one. I try to explain what happened in Thailand. It may not fit at what your example. What happened right now is they twist the information about the king, about his life, what he did, about his properties, monies, families. It's maybe different what you give as an example. So even the 112 is stay the same like this. there's still 400 cases accused. All of them victims. They are innocent. If you look at to the name of this accused person, you will see what is color, what is group. So the Article 112, if we look at the Article 112 only, you will not see the clear picture of what happened in Thailand right now. You have to because what they did, the one who's trying to defend the king, is they don't do according to your example. They did more than that. They did more than that, and I cannot repeat it right now. But if you interest, you can ask your Thai colleagues, especially in the northeast, and listen to the community radio. It's worse than you see in the internet. Even the law is stay the same. It's no change at all. Right now, it's 3 to 15 years penalty. What more and more cases? What happened? What should we do? And the rest of the country get angry. Why they defend the king like this, threaten the king like this? Why they freely post incorrect bad things? That's totally untrue about the king. Our beloved king. That's what Thai same like me think. Sorry, deep sorry. That's why expressed like that. There's some fight in when there's someone against the change or amendment of Article 112. There's a red shirt. There's some fight. I have to separate them, to stop them, not to fight each other. So they get angry, and that's why I'm afraid. And I try to make the come to the society. I would like this chaos to happen. I try to do so, but I cannot give you clear and complete information right now. But I ask all of you to learn more about what defense groups or anti-royal, anti-royal groups that I accuse that most of them or all of them is under Thaksin support. They try to change this country, they like to control the whole country by change this administrative system. Even they destroy or invade even the police, organization, election committee, anti-corruption committee, Attorney General, court, everything. Since the beginning, since the first we said hidden the stock the first year of his prime minister time. You remember Supun hidden his stock with his servant or driver. They 10,000 million baht. The driver get that money. So they Thaksin put money. So the situation is that there's a man, a businessman, become powerful politician. Right now they try to he and his group try to control this country. And the monarchy is the obstacle, big obstacle to his move. So he has to do something to destroy him, destroy the monarchy. That's the obstacle to his movement. So if you look at this, the Article 112 is a little point, but it's important little point, maybe the first big step. If anyone can freely talk bad things about the king, and I cannot guess what happened. That's my best right.